Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of Geekdom Movies. We, of course, lost our a little buddy here, Shannon. We didn't actually lose her; she got a new job, so hopefully she'll be back, of course, in our next review. We're gonna do Nope. Have you seen the trailer?
That's
Jordan Peele.
Jordan
Yeah.
Peele. Yeah,
Suddenly-
and his quote unquote Robert De Niro eye roll.
Oh, yes. But she'll be back next week. Shannon, if you're watching this, I hope the new job and everything is going well. But as a guest review, we got somebody we did a review with, Spider-Man. And we thought, hey, why not bring him back for Thor?
It's on brand.
Yeah, pretty much. So Chad, welcome back to Geek the Movies.
Good to be here.
How's the podcast? Because you started if you watch our Spider-Man review, I mentioned that Chad, of course, started a really great podcast. How's that?
It's going good. We're on a little bit of a hiatus right now, just because I've been dealing with some health issues. But the last couple that have come out in the last 2 months that are really awesome. We did one on Disney movies recently,
nice.
which I think was really fun. Getting me and several friends talking to adults talking about Disney movies. So that was it's worth check out. Armchair Aficionado. It's on anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Spotify, iTunes.
I'm having trouble with Apple right now, but it's on Spotify. It's on Amazon Music. It's on Podbean and iHeartRadio as well.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
nice. Well, you guys can always find us here on YouTube. One of these days, I feel like we need to put our channel on podcasts. And we were just on vacation, July 4th. Did you guys do anything for July 4th?
No, I wasn't feeling good, so I was unfortunate. This happens to me all the time. Like 2 years ago, I had a wisdom tooth pulled on July 4th. I was like terrible. Just always ruined for me.
Are you like oh no, what am I prepared for next year?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it always works that way. And then you can't get a doctor's appointment on the holiday, right? It's always a drama, but it's all right. I'm doing good now.
That's good.
We're
glad you're healthy and safe now, and welcome back.
Appreciate it.
My wife and I, we just went to Manistee and Sleeping Bear Dunes.
Oh, nice.
Her birthday is right after July 4th, and her birthday is July 5th. So for us, I love going up north. If to those who live in Michigan or know anything about Michigan, when you're going up north in Michigan, everybody goes up north for the July 4th weekend.
Yeah.
And we just get to we'll drive by and watch all the cars, and they're stuck in traffic, and we have the open road on July 5th. Hotels, motels, everything's good.
It's the best. I honestly did the same thing over the July 4th weekend. I went up.
Oh yeah, you went to
I went up to Mackinac Island.
Yeah.
I went to Traverse City. Yeah, it was great. And yeah, we saw the traffic on the way up there. It was.
You just looked at it and you're like,
we're like, oh, good. It's a good thing that we're not headed back.
Right. We're here to talk about Thor, Love and Thunder. Now, of course, we're going to do a small spoiler discussion, and we're just going to give our thoughts really quickly, whether we liked it, didn't like it, what we did like about it. And then majority of this video will be just us discussing spoilers and discussing just anything that pops into our head that might be worth talking about, mentioning, all that fun stuff. I'm going to have Chad go first, but I'm going to surprise Chad with a little bit of extra homework. Hopefully he's prepared or he's not. We'll see.
Okay. This one.
So what did you think of Doctor Strange 2? And then maybe give your overall aspects of Thor since Spider-Man.
This actually plays in very well to what I had planned to start the discussion with.
Oh, nice.
And I think that with any movie, of course, expectation has so much to do with how you feel about the movie when you walk out of the movie after watching it.
That's true.
The expectation versus the reality.
Right.
And Marvel has been very consistent in their quality for the most part. There really hasn't been too many total stinkers. Even the ones that are meh aren't real stinkers in my mind.
That's true.
So I'm going in there with the Marvel standard in mind. But for Doctor Strange, I kept seeing, you always look at all the reviews going into it, and I remember, this looks really cool. This is going to be a really cool premise for a Marvel movie. Sam Raimi, Doctor Strange, I really like the first movie. And I keep seeing these reviews that are just, it's meh, it's meh. I'm like, meh? How could they screw this movie up? How could they possibly screw this movie up based on the trailers? And I thoroughly was having a bad time watching that movie. I can say that I did not enjoy it at all. I mean, that's maybe a little harsh, but for a Marvel movie, it was very low. I'd give it probably a 6 out of 10. So, so going into it, just in the context of that, I did not like Doctor Strange. I saw the trailer for Thor. This looks really good. I love Ragnarok. Thor. I had high expectations going into it, and the trailer seemed solid. Then I start seeing these reviews again, and they're not that good. And I immediately like, oh my god, did they screw it up again? Like, was this really going to be like the same thing?
Right.
But in my mind, it was not in the same category as Doctor Strange. I would give it at least a full point or so higher than
I agree
that.
with that.
And perhaps it's because my expectations
Were so low.
were tainted. Going into it.
100% agree.
But I was really kind of baffled walking out of it that it got as much hate as it did. Did I think it was great? No, but I didn't think that it was
terrible.
I don't think it was like bottom 3, bottom 4 Marvel movies. I definitely think it's probably better than 7 or 8 of them. It shouldn't be in the same category as like Eternals or anything like that for me. I know you like Eternals. Sorry,
I love Eternals.
Sorry to dig it, but
that's okay. Everybody has different tastes.
Yeah. So that's so that was my overall take on it. I really enjoyed it. I didn't think the humor was too corny or campy. A lot of people were saying.
Oh, I totally thought it was campy, but that didn't take away from my enjoyment.
Yeah, but I was kind of worried about like long stretches of awkward, goofy, stupid humor, and it didn't really get. There was maybe a little bit with Korg's face talking to.
Spoilers. Let's keep that.
Did I miss the name? Plot points there. But
That's true.
That's true.
But yeah, that was maybe it. But I didn't really find that that to be too detracting from anything. I thought Christian Bale was great. Just keeping it vague without getting into the plot. I don't think he was wasted per se, but I go into this with Christian Bale is probably one of my favorite actors. Top 5, maybe top 3 for sure. And
oh wow,
yeah, I love Christian Bale.
Okay,
but
that might have a lot to do with how probably you also enjoyed the movie.
Well, yeah,
if you like Christian Bale that much.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I'm going to go ahead and say almost no, because I think that he just going into it, I was a little bit like, all right, he's not playing an iconic Marvel character.
Right.
And so a little bit of me is kind of like, oh, that's kind of a bummer. You really only get one shot at being in the MCU, and I wish it would have been a better character.
Yeah.
A lot of people love Gorr the God Butcher. I'm an old school Marvel fan. Any character that's created in the last 20 years, I don't care about at all. So I would rather him play like a really classic character. But at the same time, I know Christian Bale isn't going anywhere near a Marvel 7-movie contract. So
that's true.
So that's my take. I've been talking for a long time, and that's
you're good.
That's just my general impression of the movie.
I made sure I gave you extra minutes with Doctor Strange and Thor. So
fair.
No worries on that. George, what are your non-spoiler quick thoughts on Thor: Love and Thunder?
My take on it was without it being spoiler, it kind of all started with the first scene. The first scene just felt poorly done. And they're introducing a character, and it seems to fall flat the way it
like felt. It was dark?
It was no, it wasn't even that it was dark. Like basically they were trying to introduce a character, and it fell apart. It didn't really I didn't feel anything really with that character as they're trying to portray something that was supposed to be emotional.
Okay.
There was like a disconnect, I think.
Okay.
But
I actually really liked that scene, honestly. I was not expecting such a heavy moment in the first thing you see.
Yeah, I actually think that Bale's best performance was in the very beginning and the very end. Otherwise,
100%.
Yeah, and anytime.
So that's that's
I'll-
weird that you think like the beginning is.
I thought his best performance was honestly like 2/3 in.
Oh,
But this will be interesting. But I would have to say that like the rest of the movie, like it picked up, like it got interesting. I actually enjoyed watching quite a bit of it. There were a few jokes that fell flat, like they were terrible jokes, like so terrible that no one laughed in the theater, even though there was like the pause for comedic effect and everything in the movie. Nobody laughed, and I'm just like, okay, that one didn't go well. But it seemed a little out of place, since Taika Waititi's normally so good with, introducing humor into it. So that was a little interesting. But
I think one of the things Marvel needs to do is maybe hold back on their directors, because you can tell at least with Ragnarok, there's less Taika Waititi, and they're still trying to keep the story and plot more centered on like the mythology. And I think Thor Ragnarok doing as well as it did, they kind of like Taika Waititi do whatever, and maybe that might have affected your like enjoyment of the movie because it went to Taika Waititi in a way. If that, I don't even know how to say that, but that's what it feels like to me. Is what you're trying to say?
Because there was a little bit of similarity to some of the humor used in Jojo Rabbit, which obviously he had a lot more free reign on that one than he did with Ragnarok. And yeah, I would have to say like Taika Waititi's he's very good with humor, but like he probably should have taken a little bit more input in regards to what jokes might work.
I mean, I'm not saying that's what Disney did or Marvel did or Kevin Feige did. I'm just maybe that's the reason it felt more different than
it could very
a
well
lot
be.
of people are feeling that way.
Yeah.
So, what would you rate it? Would you say it's better than
regards-
Doctor Strange? Is it?
In regards to the rest of the movie, I would have to say that some of the other characters, I don't know if they didn't really seem to go much into any other characters. It was like you had two main characters, and that was pretty much
The center of the.
Yeah. I mean, well, I guess you could. I'll go into that in spoilers. it's difficult. It's difficult to do this without spoilers. But in regards to what I would rate this, I would say that this is probably like the second best Thor movie. In regards to MCU, it might drop to like number 7 or so.
Okay.
In regards to like ranking of MCU movies, but
7. That's pretty high. There's a lot of them.
I know. It was still above average despite its defects. So
I agree with that.
I support you when you say it's the second best Thor movie. I
yeah.
mean, that's a low bar from those first two. But
Yeah.
Some people love those two Thor movies. I know many who are diehard fans of the first Thor. I'm like,
I was bored. I was thoroughly bored, and I think that's where I'm hesitant when they talk about. I'm totally with you on the humor, but I think everyone's like, "Oh, we need a serious Thor or whatever." And the first movie was pretty serious, and it was pretty
dull. That was pretty terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you on that. I would have to say that it was by no means like the best Thor or the best MCU movie, but I think it was still worth a watch.
Yeah, I have to agree with Chad. After Doctor Strange, my expectations were a little low because now I did like Doctor Strange, and this might be Doctor Strange spoilers. It's on Disney Plus. Go watch it. Like, I'm not hiding spoilers from Doctor Strange anymore. But I think they could have done more to kind of reveal that Wanda was going to be the bad guy, rather than us kind of pretending it's something else. And then after Disney Plus, like she was kind of the story heroine who fought the witch in WandaVision. Yeah. So I was just kind of like not expecting it to go in that direction. And when it did, I was kind of offended that they didn't really do a good job of explaining that. That's why my experience with Doctor Strange is bad. But the reason I like Doctor Strange is I got to see children get, like, there was, I didn't know if you saw a review, but when we did the Doctor Strange review, there was a little girl wearing a Wanda costume. She was like maybe like 5 or 6 years old. She had the Wanda doll, and she was so excited. And then, the scene where everybody just gets murdered and slaughtered by Wanda. She just gives the doll to her mom. She's like, I don't like Wanda.
Yeah, it's At least they.
Oh my gosh!
they-
I'm crying again.
They at least the movies are now aligned with the comics, where the Scarlet Witch is just the worst.
Thor, on the other hand, because my expectations were low, I ended up just really because, like you said, the reviews came in, and they were like getting about the same level as Doctor Strange 2. So I was like, oh no, another dud. So my expectations going in were like, I'm just doing this for the review.
Right.
At that point, I'm not really doing it for my own enjoyment, and I think that helped a bit because I know people are saying the humor didn't work for them, but it totally worked for me. And I'm a big fan of like Buster Keaton movies and like Charlie Chaplin back in the. I'm going old school like slapstick like
Those
over
were
the.
good.
Yeah, like I'm just a fan of comedy in general. So for me, like comedy is always a good thing over like being like you were saying like Thor 1, which is like really boring and dramatic. I think this tone works better. One, Chris Hemsworth is really funny. Two, Taika Waititi can do comedy very well. Whether you like that type of humor, that's up to you. But for me, it just works. There is an ongoing joke throughout the movie that you think it's gonna get kind of tiresome, and there's two of them that I can't name in my non-spoiler, and they totally worked every time. Like every time those two scenes showed up, I was like, I'm all about it.
I just put together what the second one was.
Yeah. I was like, can't say it, but hopefully you know what I'm talking about. And then the thing that I really liked about this is, man, did Natalie Portman and Chris have no love chemistry in the other Thor movies. So when they said they were bringing her back, I was just kind of like, bringing back Natalie Portman? Why? And then like, I saw the trailer, I'm like, this looks kind of dumb. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, as the movie progressed, I won't go into spoilers, but I was on board with the relationship between Thor and what's her name? Jane.
Yeah.
I don't even remember her name. Jane Foster?
Yeah.
Jane Foster. And I totally bought into it. It really does. One thing the movie does do justice on is Natalie Portman was really underutilizing the other Thor movies. She's really, like, she's shining in this movie. Like, I think she did a fantastic job in every scene, whatever they may be. If you've seen it, you know what those scenes are. And she hit all those notes for me. And also Christian Bale. I think my biggest issue with Christian Bale, he's not in the movie enough. And without going into spoilers, he didn't kill as many gods as I would have liked. I wish he killed more gods. And that's my only non-spoiler review that I can say without going into detail. Because there's this one scene in my head, and I'll go more talk about it in the spoiler discussion, that I was like, this would have been so better if this happened with Christian Bale's character. So that's my nitpick for now. Other than that, it's the best second Thor movie, but the bar is kind of low after the first two Thor movies. Did you guys have any final thoughts before we go into some spoiler discussion?
No, I'm ready for spoilers.
I just thought I should clarify the humor that I think fell flat was from Korg's character. Not
Oh,
the
yeah, you can
rest,
say
not
that.
the
That's not
rest
spoiler.
of the humor.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
rest of the humor in the movie
Oh.
seemed to work just fine, but it was some of the humor from Korg's character that just fell flat.
I'm waiting for the spoilers. I have something I don't think landed.
Okay.
But I'm waiting for the spoilers. So
All right, guys, welcome back. Or if you're sticking around and have seen Thor, you're just kind of continuing on with the video. Those who haven't seen it, come back later after you've seen the movie, or if you don't care about spoilers, we're going to spoil it. All right, spoiler discussion. So I have a bunch of questions and things that I wanted to pick you guys' brain at. But before we do that, is there something on somebody's mind that they're just like, I really want to talk about this? The floor is yours.
I think I'm good. I'm interested for your questions. I have some things to say, but it's not really like a total axe to grind.
Okay.
So
I can't think of anything offhand either.
Okay, so, all right. So this movie is, in many ways, because I've read the comics, and whenever you read the comics, your expectations are a little bit
skewed.
Yeah. Because, like, one, my biggest issue with the character is, one thing that Gore does really well in the comics is he hates gods. And he hates gods, and they do a pretty good job explaining why he should hate the gods. And I agree with him. And the first thing I'm like, yes, you should kill that god
Yeah.
because
That guy was great. That guy was like perfect at being so hateable. And
Yeah.
Yes.
and ridiculous. You know that.
you know, and he like takes the necromancer sword, which I think it's the same sword that you know who has in the Eternals, Jon Snow.
Oh.
I think it's connected.
Yeah, because in the comic books, it's what's his face, Newell gets it right.
I don't remember that deep into the Marvel, but I just know
Yeah.
that it's somehow connected to the Jon Snow sword in the Eternals that he grabbed at the end of the end credit scene of Eternals, if you've seen it. But I could be wrong, so I'm talking out of my ass. Don't just say I'm guessing here. My biggest issue with Christian Bale's character is one, he hates the gods, but he always protects every single immortal. Wait, when you don't die, you're just a regular human. Mortal. He loves every single mortal. He would never hurt a mortal. And like when he took the children, I was like, no, that's not Gore. Gore would never do that. He would go out of his way to protect the children from the gods and then kill the gods, but he would never actually harm the mortals. And this is my problem. My biggest problem with Taika Waititi is that he's like, I'm going to do whatever I want. And I'm like, no, you should not do whatever you want. That's effing stupid because there's a difference between Iron Man 3 where you take a character that's iconic, and I thought Marvel learned this lesson after Iron Man 3, where you take an iconic character and make him goofy or out of character of who he's supposed to be in the comics, and we're right back. I mean, like, you got Christian Bale, for goodness sakes. You got freaking Christian Bale in the movie, who's Batman, who, like you said, is one of the best actors, and you totally unutilized him and completely changed who he's supposed to be. He would never ever kidnap the children, and even though I gave him a pass at that, because I thought what they were gonna do is like he's gonna like I wasn't actually gonna hurt the children. It was just a bait and switch.
Yeah.
But no, he was gonna not do that, and I was like, "Are you serious?" And last thing, I'm done ranting. I'm sorry. I'm just really annoyed with the Gore character. Like, why would you not have Gore show up and kill Zeus in the gold room with all the gods? Like, how epic would it have been where Thor's like talking to Russell Crowe, Zeus, and he goes, he's a real threat, we need your help. And Zeus is like, no, I'm a douchebag, which he was, and he should be a douchebag because in the comics he's a douchebag. And then like they're like, no, we're safe here, we're good. Like Gore can't get in, and then Gore shows up and just starts slaughtering gods left and right. Oh my god, that would have been so epic, and they totally dropped the ball on that, and I think really annoyed.
I think everyone who saw the trailer thought that was going to happen too.
Right?
I think that is too.
And so for me, that's like the other biggest issue is just that. I'm done ranting. You guys can take it ahead. That was my rant for non-spoiler.
I have a follow-up real quick.
Yeah. Go.
You take over. But about what you're saying about not aligning with the comics and the characters. What you're saying, I get what you're... I think most people who go and see the movie don't know who Gore is or read the comics. But I understand where he does have a following. He is popular with a lot of people.
He's one of the best villains in the comic, in my opinion.
The Marvel seems to be really okay with twisting their villains, a lot of villains, into things that they aren't at all. And but I don't even want to get into this because it's so upsetting to me what they did to Taskmaster.
Yeah.
Like what?
Goodness.
I mean, I hope that people were fired over that. But just the idea that they don't understand that, they would never do something like that to Captain America. They would never do something like that to Iron Man. They play it by the book. And they've never had a misstep when they played it by the book. They've only goofed up when they thought they were going to get creative. And,
That's true.
And they need to understand that this is someone's favorite character.
Yeah.
And you are bringing in characters that are never going to get another chance at being in a live action movie, and a lot of times they're just butchered. And that was the same, anything to do with Iron Man 3. AIM, what was that? So it's really, I wish they would change that a lot moving forward. I'm a big villain guy, so it's really hard for me to see when a really cool villain is kind of, mutilated like that.
Yeah.
So, sometimes they take a really obscure character that's nobody, but Taskmaster is a very popular character with a huge following, and they made him something he was completely not, and not just being a woman, but beyond that, which it was,
Just what the character was.
yeah.
And even when they get someone like Ben Kingsley in Iron Man 3, who like, you show that trailer and you show Ben Kingsley, you expect like Heath Ledger level Joker stuff.
Right, yeah.
And then you like completely steal that moment. And I feel like that's kind of what's been happening with these villains is like, I don't know why, because Kevin Feige has been really good at making the other phases work, even if there were missteps like Iron Man 3. Overall, he kind of brings it back together. Like, Thanos could have been terrible, and yeah, they did change things, but I think they changed Thanos for the better for the movie. In fact, I probably like Thanos more just the way they did Thanos in the movies compared to the comics.
Yeah. He's like the best lines in
Yeah.
the whole thing. You know?
Right,
But-
right. And my thing is, and the other thing is, and this is a small nitpick, and I know people are talking about it online, and I'll address it because I got emails about it. It's like, why would you? So just know, I don't care. I like comedy. I don't care if it goes slapstick. I actually enjoy. I'll take comedy over hard, dramatic, boring scenes like we were talking about earlier any day. But just to address the elephant in the room, yeah, like in Thor 1, Thor kind of is a god and thinks everybody is an ant. If you rewatch Thor 1, and then suddenly he learns empathy, or like he understands they're not just ants, they're people, and he protects this small town and even puts up his life to protect the people of this small like desert town wherever they are. I forgot now. And like you're like, oh, that's growth, that's character growth. And then like in Thor 4, he like the beginning of the movie, there's these people who need help, and it's like this amazing like whatever thing that they have that
building or whatever.
yeah, and he
Temple, yeah.
and he's completely acting like aloof, and
Yeah.
it is bothersome if you think about it too much. And I'm nitpicking too by agreeing with you guys because you emailed me, but at the same time, it's kind of like it's funny. So like it's like, but it's funny, so I guess I'm giving it a pass. But I can see why other people are upset because it takes away from who Thor is becoming. I think the biggest reason I give it a pass is because the emotional scene between Jane and Thor, like, and everything that happens in the second movie, I just thought was really well done for even a Thor movie. Like, I really enjoyed every time Natalie Portman and Thor were on the screen together, which saying something because I hated when they were on the screen together in the first two movies. But here it was like lightning, no pun intended. But it just worked. Everything about her cancer, just like the comics, they did respect that part. You can't blame them because Jane does get more near because she's dying, and the more she uses the hammer, the faster she dies. Everything that is like in the comics is actually in this movie, and that was really well done for what they tried to do. I just kind of wish they would have maybe the editing is also really bad. I've noticed that the pacing. Me and you were talking about the pacing is off, and I can't explain why.
Yeah, I think that I agree with everything you're saying about the chemistry. I think was very good between the two of them, and their scenes were very heartfelt and believable. I thought Jane was a much better character. I do think they tried to put a little bit too much comedy into her because like her catchphrase stuff was falling hardcore flat for me. That was,
oh really?
Yeah, that was.
I actually forgot about it.
Yeah, that was that was like. That's
I don't even know what the catchphrase is. I don't know.
Yeah, all the memes about like eat my hammer just dies of cringe.
Now I remember.
Yeah,
I probably was traumatized, and I was like, I'm erasing this.
Yeah. It's not on the same level as Sun's Get Real Low, Big Mac, but it was.
Was that Hulk?
Yeah, that was Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of no chemistry, but yeah, I digress.
No, I agree with you. I think overall Jane did a fantastic job. Did you like what they did with Jane, George?
Yeah, I would have to say they really built her character up from what it had been previously. Because previously it was
basically dog shit.
Yes.
So you could only go up.
Yeah.
But no, they like you guys were saying, like they did a better job, and I do like. Okay, I said this earlier in the non-spoiler, but I'll say now. I think a lot of people are annoyed at the goats. Every time those goats screamed, I laughed. Every time.
Yeah.
Every time
Same.
when they crashed into the moon or the planet and then did the scream, that was my favorite part. I don't know why. I was just the
That
only
was-
one laughing in the movie theater. I don't know about you guys.
Everybody in my theater was laughing at that point, and they were laughing hard.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
good. So I wasn't the only one. And then what was the other one? The what's Thor's hammer's name? Warhammer?
No, so it's
What the hell is it?
There's
War
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir is the one that Natalie Portman
Yeah,
has,
oh.
but
Yeah, and then
is it Warhammer?
no, it's
he says its name, but I
Stormbreaker.
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 Yeah,
Yeah.
Stormbreaker.
Every time that stupid thing just comes onto screen very slowly, and then Thor's like, "Oh, we were just talking, catching like all of that every single time." People are like, "Okay, the third time was too much." I was like, "I'm saying it wasn't enough."
Yeah.
I wanted that.
That was hilarious.
Every
Yeah,
single
right.
time, I was like completely sold on it, and it's adorable. Like when they were dating, like Mjolnir, like he put a little magic like spell on it to
Yeah.
protect Natalie Portman.
Right.
And I was like, how are they going to make this make sense? And they kind of actually saved that plot a lot better than the comics.
Yeah, I think that they did the best they could have possibly done it. I think they're with trying to encapsulate the story within the beginning of the movie. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. And my other, I mean, I wish I know it's not a Guardians movie, but man, I'm getting sick of these 5-minute,
How much do they get paid? Do you think? I think about that all the time.
probably a lot, because of the contract they signed. I'm
Yeah.
sure they got paid. Because I mean, what was it like? Okay, so now we can
How much
talk
did
about
Bradley Cooper get paid for the one line he said? Do you think?
probably a
The
million.
one.
Yes. Hey, when Vin Diesel can say "I am Groot" like 20 times and get paid like millions of dollars,
Yeah, it's true.
who knows?
I totally forgot that was even him.
Right?
Yeah.
Who knows at this point how much? So here's the thing: Lena Headey.
Yeah.
Headey? How do you say her name?
I
Game of
always-
Thrones.
I always say Headley, but I could be wrong.
Headley, Lena. Whatever. They paid her $7 million to be Christian Bale's wife and have this whole setup of like not just his daughter, but him losing his home, his wife, his people, his planet, and they paid her $7 million. She has $7 million for being in a movie that she's not in. She got paid $7 million. It's like, did you guys read this? It's
No.
insane.
You sent that to me. Yeah, I was like,
$7
that's.
million to be not in.
What were
I
they
wish I
thinking?
wasn't in a movie and got paid
Yeah,
millions.
I did.
What were they thinking?
I did feel that
Ah,
the beginning of the movie, I wanted to see more about where
Yeah.
it came from. It just
It was-
it jumped so quick into
It was. I feel like.
dying.
I feel
Yeah.
like it was far too quick. That's
Yeah.
what I meant.
Yeah.
Like by it,
Yeah.
felt like there was a bit of an emotional disconnect from it, just because they tried to progress it like as fast as they possibly could,
Yeah,
and it
the
It didn't
start
work
pre-credit
very well.
scene. You know, yeah.
yeah. It was kind of difficult. The one other thing I had in regards to that whole scene was that it was like one of the camera shots where like
mhm.
it's that one god that was annoying as could be.
Yeah.
It
Zeus?
just it felt like
Oh, in the
it felt
beginning.
like it felt like a cheap like shot.
Yeah.
Just the way it was done. It was like it was almost like completely like stationary, and like he's like kind of in the middle in the distance sort of like it didn't feel like they did a very good job with like their
I mean, it
cameras
wasn't-
there.
It wasn't like the most important scene in the world.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
like the way he
he died with the stab and he got the sword.
the way
Ooh.
even the way he moved though, like it just didn't like it didn't
Something
look
didn't look
natural.
right.
It just
Okay.
something about that scene just
The decline in CGI quality in Marvel movies is well documented. It is
Yes.
very.
Did you see the lawsuit on the other lawsuit? Not even just Lena Headey, but the other lawsuit that just come out.
No.
We can talk about it
How can Lena Headey be mad about
So-
getting paid $7 million?
because her contract says no matter what in any movie she's in, her agents get paid whatever amount whenever she gets paid.
Yeah.
Agency agent, and she didn't give them one penny, and I guess she owes them hundreds of thousands of dollars, and she didn't pay them. And her excuse is, well, they didn't put me in the movie. Your job is to put me in the movie. So if you don't put me in the movie, I'm not paying you. Because
Interesting.
so there's this weird back and forth going on between Lena Headley and like her agency. I don't know. Like that's the reason it even came out. People were like, wait, how much? She's not even in the movie. She got paid $7 million
Yeah.
to be not in the movie. They also cut out Peter Dinklage, who was supposed to have a really good scene between, and Lena Headley was supposed to be in a scene with Peter Dinklage that they filmed.
My question is, how is that possible? Because he was already in Thor.
No, that's
Or
who's-
no, he was
because
in Endgame, right?
I heard that
Or not
Thor
Endgame,
was supposed to
but-
kill him,
Yeah,
Oh,
as well as Jeff Goldblum.
his scene got cut too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which-
there's a lot of cameos
Yeah.
that actually got cut from.
Yeah.
You don't understand that. There's a 4-hour cut of Love and 4-hour cut that they like, and apparently they shrunk it to a point because the editing is so bad. I'm like, even I'm watching this and like, something is off here.
It's
You know,
still not as bad as Doctor Strange editing and pacing.
that's very
Okay.
true.
That
You're
was
not
very
wrong.
true. Yeah.
I'm so traumatized. Are you still traumatized by the kids?
Those kids, no. I can't even.
George's
so
whole
wrong.
review is
That
just
was
about
so
those
wrong.
kids.
Those kids were just wrong. Like everything about those kids were wrong.
Because they're just kind of creepy.
They were so
Like, everything
unnatural.
they do
They
is
were
so-
so unnatural. It was like that's not how kids act.
I know.
Like, I'm sorry, that's not how kids act.
No,
Like,
I-
anybody who's been around kids, they act cute and stuff, but they don't act like
Well,
that.
you know, that's what happens when your kids are created in the mind of just a crazy.
But see, that's
See,
the-
that's
But that's the problem.
that's the thing. That's what
Because
I felt
if that's if it was in your mind, then it doesn't matter. But that's a real reality.
yeah, right.
That's a real place. That's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
fake.
right,
It's not
right,
a dream.
right.
WandaVision was the dream.
Right.
Where she possessed everyone and pretended she was
and
a
that's
small town. That made sense.
that made sense.
So if the kids were
But
like that
they did
in
not make
WandaVision,
sense
like,
in
okay,
that movie.
yeah, because it's a real place, and there's like,
Yeah.
why are you acting like that? This is kind of like you're possessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other big thing is that the CGI company, every single person who worked on the visual effects is saying Disney is asking too much. Our deadlines are too fast, and we can't keep working on every single Disney Marvel movie on top of all the TV shows. And they just can't make the deadline. And Disney is going, well, and Marvel is popular, and we need to print money. So work.
That's basically why Phase 4 even exists.
Yeah.
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 We'll get more into that later,
Yeah.
but it really doesn't. It hasn't furthered the MCU in any way.
No.
It is only about strike while the iron's hot and let's get paid.
Right.
That's exactly what Disney's doing right now.
Right, and I think that you can see it. You can literally like see what they're doing, and you're not really coming up with a plan anymore. You're just throwing whatever. You got Moon Knight, and there's Egyptian gods. You got the Eternals, who are bigger gods. You got Thor. You got minor gods, and what? Like
Yeah.
how
Does it all relate?
how does it all? Let's get into that. What even is this phase, and what exactly is happening right now?
Well, I think that if you look at Thor, like I said, a lot of the criticisms I've seen are it does nothing to really further the direction of the MCU. But you could say the same thing with a lot of other movies we've seen lately. I'm trying to think of. Well, I mean, obviously Black Widow was a prequel that didn't really further the MCU in any way.
Yeah, they messed up Taskmaster, but at least they did justice to the Scarlet Witch character, at least, which was
Right, but
you know.
it's a character that's already written off. You're not moving forward with her.
Right.
I guess Yelena Belova is a takeaway from that.
yeah.
But
She is pretty good in that movie.
she's the best part of it.
Yeah.
But I can't say that Shang-Chi.
Oh, that's right. We're not even talking about the ancient gods in that reality.
Right.
Or
But-
have you seen Miss Marvel yet?
No.
There's a whole other dimension with like Middle Eastern gods and genies and jinns. Like, how is this all
Yeah.
working?
Yeah.
And now you're introducing the X-Men?
I think that
What?
that's really what this whole. I think everything is kind of on pause until they get the X-Men and the Fantastic Four in.
Ugh.
I think that just they don't have those characters or a team or just that are popular enough or really interesting enough to anchor around the MCU right now. So it's just kind of this, like no one wants another Captain Marvel movie. No one wants that, but they're going to do it anyway to get paid. You know, and it's like I say that there's 7 guys on YouTube right now that are butthurt that I said I want a Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Okay, but
I think the Captain Marvel movie is not good. I think everybody can agree with that. But I think, like, I'll be honest. I hated Captain America 1. I don't like that movie. I think it's boring and stupid. It does nothing for me.
I have strong feelings about that as well, and I agree with you.
And Thor 1, and I'm like, I don't care about the Avengers. These movies are terrible. But Marvel somehow finds a way to improve. I think I might give Brie Larson a chance to see if they can fix her like they did Captain America and Thor, because they do eventually catch up to the point where it makes sense. Some movies, like their first go, is just like lightning in a bottle, like Iron Man 1, Black Panther, Guardians of the Galaxy. You see those movies, the first movie, that's their best movie. Iron Man 1 is the best Iron Man movie. You know?
Yeah.
The Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is way better than... I like Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It's a little messy, but Guardians 1 is the best. I don't know what the heck they're going to do with Black Panther now. That's a whole other discussion.
A movie that really shouldn't happen, in my opinion. But I think that
they can't not
do it.
Yeah. And I think they're just... Everybody's like, oh, why are they making Black Panther? There's no Black... I'm telling you, Black Panther is in that movie, but because they don't want to have to deal with the, how dare you replace Chadwick Boseman? He was like the best. They just don't want to deal with it, so they're not just telling you. I really think that's what it is. Yeah. That trailer comes out, and I think it's coming out this week, actually. So maybe they'll drop like Black Panther in there. Somebody has to be Black Panther. There's no way you can make Black Panther 2 without Black Panther. Now, you could shock me and not do it, but then I would be like, why did you even call it Black Panther 2? Just call it Wakanda and call it a day.
I hate it when it's clear that a character that was designed to be part of the franchise moving forward is in it, and then they bring back a character that was clearly meant to die for real just to fill the void, which is what they seemingly are doing with Killmonger.
Oh, my.
And I don't like that at all. And
I thought, too, though, that they killed him off too early.
Yeah, I think he's I don't want to get too controversial here, but I find him to be a problematic villain. And I think that
it's not he's a problematic villain.
Yeah,
he's not a good person.
No, I think that he's designed to be the audience to empathize with him perhaps too much. And I think that they wanted a authentic African American character in Black Panther. And I think that kind of dimension to it. I find the ending of Black Panther offensive, as if an African country needs to feel responsible for black people all over the world. That's simply not real. That's not fair to expect that of people in Africa.
Only if Wakanda wasn't... I mean, Wakanda's highly advanced, technological, who kind of stopped giving a damn. In the comic, it does make sense why they should or would care. Like the point, but they're like a super advanced city.
But I think that the idea that we're making community centers or whatever for African American people. It's not that they're like, oh, we have all this.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Obviously, if you have all this wealth and you want to better the world, do it absolutely. But the idea that they somehow feel that they're indebted or they have a burden to black people all over the world, I thought that's a false narrative.
Yeah, I think that might have been a little forced. I would prefer we have Falcon, who's now the new Captain America, just like the comics.
Yeah.
But really, we should if you're gonna go down that road, just take the black superheroes in America and just make them into a superhero instead of Wakanda. I get it. That makes sense.
I don't mean to be controversial because I think what I'm about to say, because I think that Black Panther is an amazing movie, and I think Chadwick Boseman and all of them did a really awesome job in creating this really cool African movie. Yeah. But I think that there was a little bit
a misstep in what the message was.
I think that they were kind of the executives said in our head, we want this to resonate with
children in America.
Yeah, with Americans,
black kids,
as opposed to be just an African movie. That's my take.
I mean, I do know that a lot of black families did go see Black Panther. A lot.
Sure, and there's something to be said for you want characters that you identify with. There's something to be said for this character resonates with me because it looks like me, it has my experiences that I do, and I can relate to that. I'm not trying to knock that in any way. I just think that
No, I see what you're saying.
there's some things. Once again, I'm sure.
I think how they set up Falcon and Winter Soldier, that's kind of where it's going with
Yeah.
Falcon now, and
Yeah.
and because what does Captain America for a new generation look like? Does he have to be white? Well, no, he can just be an American soldier. Any American soldier.
I think that's where they actually went right. Like
Yeah,
going that route with Captain Falcon instead of a Killmonger, I think is
the best.
was the right
Yeah,
choice.
yeah.
You know,
I don't
Yeah,
think they're
that-
gonna.
If
Are they redeeming Killmonger?
I don't know.
well,
I don't think they are they?
We'll see when the trailer comes out. We'll see what's going on.
yeah,
Is he?
that's true.
I didn't even know if he was in the movie because I
Yeah.
thought he died. So I was just like, they're not.
Well, he did, and
Yeah,
Maybe
He
they're
did.
bringing him back.
yeah.
But, I mean, they've done a good job of taking villains who murdered people and then kind of actually made you care about them and like them. Winter Soldier, Loki, Black Widow. Well, we never got to really see her pass.
Yeah, and I think sometimes like I don't like it when like the memory is too short. Like people are way too apologetic about Wanda, in my opinion. Oh hey, we're gonna come. Hey, I heard you just kidnapped the whole village for months and just
yeah,
let's
yeah,
just
that
come,
was
come here, whatever. I'm just like. You know what? If this was a man, there was no way people would be this.
No.
Honestly, I felt like it was just like they're trying to sugarcoat her in such a ridiculous way. When
I think because she didn't realize what she was doing in WandaVision, I'm not excusing her, Doctor
Yeah.
Strange, just WandaVision.
right.
She, I don't think was because she was being manipulated by the other witch and using her powers
Yeah.
to confuse. So for me, like giving grace to Wanda is an easy go because there was only one person that knew how strong Wanda was and how to manipulate that situation and used her to do it.
Sure.
In Wanda, she gets hold of the Darkhold and just like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna murder everybody. And then you're like,
Yeah.
there's no grace here. You deserve to die.
Right.
Oh, she died. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So,
I see where
we
you're
don't really know.
well, I mean, it is Marvel. I mean,
I have this feeling.
I have this argument at
Phase
least
5. No.
I have this dumb argument with people all the time, and they're like, "Well, what are they gonna do? Iron Man died and Captain America died." And I'm like, guys, give it 5 years, maybe 10 tops.
It is a
They're coming.
multiverse.
They're coming back.
Uh,
Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, they're coming back.
I'm not sure you're aware of this, but these guys' careers aren't doing great.
What's that movie you showed me?
Oh,
with
yeah.
Chris Evans?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. You just text.
The Gray Man.
Have you heard of this?
No.
No.
I saw the trailer. I'm like, this trailer actually looks good.
So-
And then you text me like, this movie was dog shit.
Oh, wait a minute.
It was-
Yeah, I did see the trailer for that.
Yeah,
I thought it.
yeah,
it looked
IGN
like
just
it was
came
gonna
out.
Be good.
5 out of 10. And this is the thing: the Russo brothers cannot make a good non-Marvel movie.
That's hilarious.
They fit.
I know.
And
You're
honestly,
not wrong.
yeah, and it's very interesting that they fit very well into Marvel's model. They know how to navigate that really well. A lot of directors really struggle, and they're miserable trying to work with Marvel. But the Russo brothers seem
Again,
to
Sam
work really well.
Raimi that should have been his. Like getting Sam Raimi to be doing Doctor Strange, you'd think he would have just pretty much nailed it.
Right. for
Like
sure.
no, Sony was the one who messed up Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Things like that. Like you were saying, like there's directors
Sony's messed
who
up a
are
lot
so
of them since.
good. No, that's what I'm saying. Like it is very strange. I mean, I did like one of the Russo brothers movies outside of the Marvel movies, and we saw this and we did a review of 21 Bridges, Chadwick Boseman.
Oh yeah, that one was a really
that
good
one was really good.
I think
There
it
were
was- I think
plot holes
I think
for sure.
I think it was
It's a good movie.
I think it was good
Yeah.
and not great. Like,
That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
That's very
But
I watched
it's
it.
not-
I watched it all the way through. Had a decent time doing it.
I lasted,
Yeah.
like whatever that Cherry movie is with Tom Holland that they made.
Yeah.
Is it
Oh
called-
yeah.
I don't.
I never watched it.
I kid you not. I was like, you know what? It's the Russo brothers. I like 21 Bridges. Like, I'm gonna give this at least a shot. I lasted 10 minutes, and I was like, this is so bad. I couldn't even keep myself from keep watching it for more than 10 minutes. That's how bad Cherry was.
That's-
So
That's rough because there are good movies with Tom Holland. Like he does some good acting in some movies. So like, well, what's that one called?
The Devil All the Time. Or
The
whatever.
Devil All the
okay, I
Time.
never saw that, but I heard Batman's
Oh.
in it too.
It is amazing.
It's
It's
free. Just watch it.
It's
And you
absolutely-
actually we've had this conversation during Spider-Man where you guys should say you should watch this.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll watch it. 8 months
it's-
later,
yeah.
you should still watch
Yeah.
it.
That honestly, I would have to say that's probably Tom Holland's best movie.
Really?
Like if you
I don't
you
know, I
watch
like
that movie,
that.
it's
Performance-wise.
phenomenal.
Really?
Performance-wise,
Okay.
yes. I mean, like it was like Oscar worthy.
Okay.
Like it's a very good film.
I liked his movie when he was a kid, but the tsunami one, where they were on vacation.
Yeah,
What was it called? That was his first role, but I can't
with
remember.
Ewan McGregor. and-
Yeah. Oh my god.
I
He
never
was
watched
so.
that one.
Oh, he was so good in that movie. I watched it. I'm like, this kid. Even then, when that was like 2012, 2011 when it came
Wasn't
out.
he in like the Moby Dick movie too? With,
There's a
like,
Moby Dick
it
movie?
was
That
like
sounds.
Chris Hemsworth was in it or something like that. Like Ron
Sounds
Howard
about right.
directed it. All these pieces are floating in my mind. And
Oh yeah. I looked terrible. Ron Howard directed it.
yeah.
I saw the trailer. I'm like,
I know-
this
I
looks
know
like
he's-
a hot
I
garbage.
know he's slipping lately. But
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah. Actually, when was the last time Ron Howard? Oh, the racing movie he made
oh
with
yeah,
Chris Hemsworth. That was actually
yeah,
really good.
yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I don't. Again, see, the issue is with the Russo brothers, like you guys are saying, like they're playing in a box and they know the box really well. They know how to navigate through this open box world. But for some reason, and the weird thing is they did Community. One of my favorite sitcoms is Community. And when they said like the guys who did Community is making Captain America 2, I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like that is like going from Community where they're shooting like water guns at each other
Yeah.
and like making dumb like fart jokes every 5 seconds to like a big movie. Like I don't know why it worked, but Winter Soldier is, in my opinion, I think Winter Soldier is my favorite
It's
Marvel
mine.
film.
It's mine. Yeah.
by far. Like what that movie was able to accomplish and where that movie went was so like like when you talk about culture and like just being at the right moment at the right time.
Yeah.
That movie was like so perfect for its time of like where the NSA and like surveillance, all this other stuff that's been going on now. It was just so smart and intelligent. And they did Civil War, and let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
sorry, I think I cut you off. You were trying to make a point, and I just went on a rant. Something about how these directors can't do movies outside of Marvel.
Oh yeah.
or something.
Yeah, just kind of saying how the Russo brothers fit in that system very well, and you were talking about how you think Iron Man and Captain America are going to come back at some point, and I was saying, yeah, guess what? Because Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans' careers aren't
That's
doing
what it was.
particularly well right now. I guess Knives Out was all right, but
I love Knives Out.
Yeah,
That was great.
That movie is good. That was in my top 10 movies of that year.
Yeah,
I love Knives Out.
I'm not gonna, and Chris Evans was great in it, but
Yes.
and you see where they're heading with this. The big rumor is that the next big Infinity War style event is going to be Secret Wars, and
Is it though? Because they keep saying it, but then they just said they're doing a TV show with Secret Wars. So is it going to be that big? Because I don't think so.
it could be Secret Wars could be a terrible TV show or an awesome movie.
Samuel Jackson comes back and he's doing a TV show.
No, you're
about-
talking about Secret Invasion, not Secret Wars.
Wait, there's 2 now? Oh, God.
Sorry, Secret Invasion is the thing with the Skrulls. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Secret Wars is the multi-dimensional multiverse big crossover.
They've kind of already done that with Spider-Man.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but in the new Secret Wars comic, not the original, in the new Secret Wars comic, all the multiverses collide together, and it's all about like Doctor Doom consolidates them all into his own world and rules them, and it's all about the few survivors that know actually what's going on to try and split them back and whatever. But it's a cool opportunity for them to introduce all the concepts that they brought into
Oh.
from Loki. And it's also
Shoot.
and it's also a cool opportunity for them to bring back Captain America and Iron Man from other multiverses and kind of have them as lead characters in a movie without them having any other setup.
Oh, that actually sounds...
So-
Well, yeah, that could be really good because I think Doctor Doom is, and I don't know why they keep screwing him up on movies and TV.
You're not wrong. You're
But
not wrong.
he is the best villain in the Marvel. People don't believe me when I tell them the guys Doctor Doom is like that guy from like Fantastic Four. It's like you don't understand.
Yeah.
Doctor Doom is the
He-
best villain ever made
Yeah.
for any series. In my opinion,
in Marvel, yeah.
To me, he's the best.
You beat Joker. He beats Joker.
Oh, 100%.
Alright.
What Doctor Doom does in the comics is
Yeah, but
Joker can't touch that.
Yeah, I mean, power level has nothing to do with.
No.
But-
Just his intelligence and how he literally takes everybody from like Avengers to the X-Men. I mean, like he's just so smart
Yeah.
and well developed.
Oh, what was that one that was like the Teenage X-Men, Young Mutants,
Mhm.
where they hinted at him, right?
No, that was oh god, that was Mephisto.
Oh, okay.
And people keep thinking Mephisto was going to show up in Doctor Strange too. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But that's
just
a whole
like
other
WandaVision.
discussion.
But yeah. But yeah.
It's actually you're right. They did, didn't they?
But when you said like talking about Scarlet Witch's power level, and you can't beat her, in my mind, I immediately thought like Doctor Doom could beat her. But
Well, yeah. I mean, of course, but I don't think Thanos could have defeated Wanda.
no, but I think
Or Wanda, sorry.
But we talk about
I
talking about magic users. That's what I was thinking.
I think
Yeah.
I agree with most of the internet that Reed Richards was not the smartest man.
I mean, again, if you look at the context of what was happening on screen, they really didn't have enough time to digest what Doctor Strange was telling them. One, they're dealing with their own Doctor Strange, who went completely berserk, and all threat is pointing Doctor Strange for them. Two, this Doctor Strange just shows up and says Wanda's gonna kill everybody. I'd be like, the girl who has 2 kids over there? No, she's not gonna kill everybody.
But
Like,
I mean, he did have warnings. She literally destroyed
What warning?
all of.
what warning? What? She
She
did
destroyed all of the robots. She was
Yeah,
killing
that-
people. On
that
the way
was when she was walking in, not making a plan. That was like Doctor Strange be like, guys, she's coming, and they're like, we're not scared of Wanda. Oh shit, maybe you're onto something here. Oh wait, fuck, it's too late, we're dead. You know, like,
But-
it's not really going in that direction where they really had time to. They didn't
let's-
look at video footage.
And let's also say that Wanda has never used her reality warping powers like she did on that moment on
Okay,
Black
that's
Yes.
true.
But
That's
it's-
true.
Wanda's powers throughout the entire MCU is kind of laughably undefined.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
totally,
that's true.
and so
That's true.
It was a total plot device. Nothing was more offensive to me than how bad Professor Xavier was disrespected.
The poor guy just keeps dying in every act.
Yeah.
And this
That
is the
was-
fourth time
that
I
was
watched
so
Xavier.
rough.
I'm like, stop killing Xavier for the
Yeah.
love of God. I've seen this man die like 4
Yeah,
times.
Yeah. So I'll
That
take
was
it
so
as
rough.
this isn't the real Illuminati.
Yeah.
Some of those, if it was the real Illuminati, some of those characters had absolutely no business being in that lineup.
Yep.
Yeah, that's,
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, when you
That
got
makes
what's I don't know is the actor's name, the main African American.
What's it? The guy who plays it, Mordo.
Yeah, like why is he in the Illuminati? Why is Bullet was actually in the Illuminati, so I guess I can't go. against
But yeah,
that.
like Sharon Carter has no business being there.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like
There were 3 people: Captain Marvel, she's African American; Captain Carter, and the third guy just said, who I forgot now.
because but you know once again I'm gonna get some flack for this, but the original lineup was all white men, and that's probably why they wanted to mix it up. But it's
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I can't disagree
Yeah.
with that. That's
But-
exactly what they did.
but I
then
think
they killed them.
But now going beyond, and actually, Black Panther was associated with it, but
That's what I mean.
yeah. But I think that even in the comics, the farther they get away from what the brand of the Illuminati was. If you look at the original lineup, it's Reed Richards, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Black Bolt, Professor Xavier, and then I'm missing one.
Yeah, probably.
But
I don't know.
but these guys are all represent like, okay, Doctor Strange has knowledge of
Yeah.
magic and all these other dimensions. Like Iron Man is like the pragmatic, multimillionaire. The ends justifies the means kind of guy. You got the genius scientist Reed Richards. These are all like mastermind type guys. Namor was the other one on the list. So they're all like
who's Namor?
Namor, the Submariner.
Oh, by the way, I hope he's actually introduced. That's one thing I'm looking forward to Black Panther 2 is
Yes, yeah.
they're gonna show Namor. I'm like, oh, I hope they
Yeah.
don't screw this up.
But they're all like all rulers, or they're all mastermind type guys. And they later kind of get farther away from that. Like Captain America gets in on the Illuminati. He really doesn't. He's really off brand. Just because he's popular or prominent in the hero universe doesn't mean he's on brand for what that secret organization was supposed to be doing. That's what the Avengers was for. This was supposed to be a different thing. And I think that they, in their lineup, once again, the idea of Captain Marvel, whether it be any incarnation of Captain Marvel, doesn't belong in the Illuminati. Any incarnation of Captain America, Sharon Carter, Steve Rogers, doesn't belong in the Illuminati. These are all behind the scenes playmakers.
What can we use as contracts and who can we play with?
Yeah.
Is that what's happening? No, they really. That literally is what they're trying to do. It's like, well, we can't really, without like a good introduction or where it makes sense to the plot. I don't know if we can do that. I do think that I agree with Kevin Feige, and he did recently do like a 10-year, 20-year anniversary of Marvel, and they asked him about like what the next Avengers was going to be and why there hasn't been a next Avengers movie. And he was actually more honest than I was expecting. He said, our plan was for when Captain America and Iron Man and Black Widow go down, Trinity as he called them, through Trinity, and like who was going to lead, everything was pointing towards Black Panther. Because let's be honest, Chadwick Boseman killed that role.
Sure.
And he deserves to lead.
Yeah,
like more than Falcon or anybody else.
For sure, 100%.
And I think once, like their plan was to take Black Panther, recruit Spider-Man, recruit Doctor Strange, and kind of like build that. It could have worked. But I think like Chadwick Boseman dying, I think it's not really Marvel's fault. I just don't think they know what to do now.
Yeah.
Because Doctor Strange can't lead. Spider-Man can't lead.
No.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Doctor Strange is doing the whole mystic stuff on the other side of the galaxy.
Based off the first Doctor Strange movie, Doctor Strange had a shot at leading. Based off the second one, no.
But in the comics, there's no way. Like, Doctor Strange would never, in a million years, lead the Avengers. It would just wouldn't make sense.
This is why they need the Fantastic Four, in my opinion. I think that the Fantastic Four, the X-Men is the more popular group, I would say.
Yeah.
But the Fantastic Four is the group that you need to connect the rest of the Marvel Universe, because that's who they are. They are prominent celebrities in the Marvel Universe, where X-Men, if you read the comics, even more so than ever, are totally isolated from a lot of the other Marvel continuity, and they kind of do their own thing.
Right. That's what I was I couldn't say it as well as you just did, but that's kind of what I was trying to say. It's like, it's not,
I occasionally don't fumble up a sentence. But But yeah, that's why I think the Fantastic Four is so important, and the fact that they've never been done right on screen, leaves me wanting them to nail it once and for all.
Speaking of Fantastic Four, what are the chances they actually bring back John Krasinski as Mr. as
I
Reed
feel like
Richards?
that's 100% chance.
I would say no.
I would say no. I'd say 70-30 they bring him back.
Yeah, I think the chances of him coming back is kind of diminished. I didn't actually like him as that role.
Oh, I heard a. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I heard a rumor.
Okay.
I heard a rumor that they were looking to cast all 20-year-old, 20s in their 20s Fantastic Four characters.
That if they have a long plan,
then, I think that they'd be hesitant to cast a 45-year-old Reed Richards if they're going to do this for another 15 years.
Right.
With that being said, the casting I kind of liked, and it was the rumor, the front runner was Penn Badgley from You, the lead character from You.
That's a show that everyone talks about.
I know we were talking about this in your show before, but but he kind of looks the part, and he kind of is cerebral, and I think that he could do a good job. So that's my take. He has my endorsement, not just because I'm a fan of You, but I think he.
You are a fan of me. Thanks, Chad. I appreciate it. I'm a fan of you too. Oh wait, you meant the
Yeah.
No, I actually do like the actor outside of You. Like I think he's doing something else.
Yeah, he was in. I mean, he was in Gossip Girl was when he got popular. But I'm trying to.
That's true, but he was in something. Recently, he was in something else. How good is that ending for Gossip? I did not start off liking that show. I watched it because of my sister, and then somehow I was like warped into that Gossip Girl world, and I couldn't look away. How great is that ending?
I've never watched it all the way through. But
oh my god!
I love the actors in it though. I love
Blake Lively and man, that cast. that cast was rocking back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what I just saw recently? This is a little off topic, but not really. Watch First Class again. Every single person in those movies before they hit stardom was in that movie. Besides, of course, the actor who played James McAvoy.
Yeah.
But every single actor in that you had Jennifer Garner. No, what's her name?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence. The guy who played Magneto hadn't really exploded yet.
Fassbender, yeah.
Oh my God,
He's
like,
awesome, yeah.
the cast was like the guy who played the Beast.
Yeah.
He hadn't exploded yet.
Yeah, I forget
and,
his name, but yeah.
You know, like that cast was so like on point for what they like. First Class started out so good, but I think they should have just ended with Days of the Future Past and called it a day. I think they should have just looked at what they just accomplished. Like, we should stop.
Apocalypse was terrible.
Oh my God,
So bad.
both those movies, Dark Phoenix.
Oh yeah, forgot that even existed.
Well, a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Both times they screwed up Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
Both times.
Yeah.
They made it one of the worst movies you can watch.
Yeah, Days of Future Past was definitely like the...
That was the movie where you're like,
Yeah.
you wrapped up everything so well.
Yeah. So
good job. Give yourself a pat on the back and go your separate ways.
Yeah. It's like, when you do a movie like that, that's basically like a love letter to the entire every movie that's come before it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the note you kind of got to end on.
Right.
Because you can't really, you're kind of just, you're cashing out.
Right.
There's nothing else to do. You know?
I was just like, man, like after watching, actually I did like Apocalypse, nowhere near as good as
Days of
Days of the
Future
Future
Past.
Past. But man, like I think the X-Men could have really. I think if they would have ended X-Men Days of the Future Past like where it did, I think the hype right now for the X-Men to come in would have been like just do Days of the Future Past and be Logan and be done with it.
Yeah.
No New Mutants, nothing, just dead stop, and people would have been like right now be like, we need the X-Men.
This is kind of my unpopular take, but I feel like it would almost be better for Marvel to introduce Wolverine before the rest of the X-Men and to kind of do a solo movie.
Isn't that what Kevin Feige said? You see a Storm solo movie, you see a Cyclops solo.
So they're the new Avengers is what they're trying to do.
That's what Kevin Feige said. It's like, I'm not doing X-Men with just X-Men. I'm giving them their own storylines and then bringing them.
I'm not sure I care about them individually though.
Well, I wouldn't either, but honestly, how much more hype would be if you saw like Storm,
Here, I think the problem is that most of their powers don't seem to have very much spread. Like when you think about like some of the
Cyclops.
I mean, what, I
Not
can't
wrong.
even.